The film begins with Mira and her husband, Henry, settling into a newly built home in a quiet, rural town. Henry, who works as an architect, designed the house himself. The couple has no children yet, as Mira is still recovering from breast cancer treatment. Wanting to celebrate their fresh start, they go out for a romantic dinner on their first night, deliberately leaving their phones behind to enjoy the evening without distractions. But when they return, the celebration is cut short. Their belongings are scattered everywhere, and both their phones have vanished. It quickly becomes clear that someone broke in while they were gone. After contacting the police, they learn that only the phones and Henry's laptop are missing. The following morning, Mira heads back to her job as a youth counselor, still uneasy after the intrusion. Henry, meanwhile, meets with the investigating detective. The officer advises installing an alarm system and security cameras to help prevent another break-in. During their discussion, loud metallic banging echoes through the plumbing, and the detective suggests bringing in a plumber to check the lines. As soon as he leaves, Henry takes the advice seriously and sets up an advanced security system that he can control with his replacement phone. That same day, Mira visits her doctor for a follow-up exam. The physician reassures her that the new lump she found is only scar tissue from her previous surgery, not a recurrence of cancer. Relieved, she goes home and shares the good news with Henry. He's overjoyed and gives her a new phone, already equipped with a tracking app synced to his own device for their safety. Late that night, Mira is jolted awake by another loud clanging from the pipes, and she realizes that the power has gone out. She asks Henry to check the generator. Outside, he discovers that the generator cables have been intentionally severed, and fresh footprints lead straight toward the house. Alarmed, he rushes back inside, only to find Mira bound and gagged on the floor. After freeing her, he heads downstairs to confront the intruders. In his office, several strangers are rummaging through Henry's belongings. He quietly retrieves a gun hidden inside a potted plant, but before he can react, another attacker lunges at him. Chaos erupts as more intruders swarm the room. Henry helps Mira escape through a balcony so she can get help, but the group forces their way in and overwhelms him. Moments later, Mira reaches their car and hears gunfire from inside the house, leaving her terrified and unsure of who was shot. Soon after, an injured intruder staggers outside begging for help, followed by Henry, who shoots the man dead. Mira is horrified by the violent scene. The next day, tensions rise as they argue at a cafe. Mira is furious that Henry kept a gun hidden in the home without ever telling her. Henry apologizes, insisting that the weapon protected them, though the police have now taken it into evidence. Later, detective meets with them to share new findings. The intruders have been identified as residents from Eagle Point, a rundown caravan park across town. Their motive remains unclear. One of the attackers, Dylan Cobb, survived the confrontation, but is in a coma at St. Mary's Hospital. The police also mention a related missing persons case involving a girl named Christine Cobb, a relative of Dylan. If Dylan doesn't regain consciousness, tracking down Christine will be difficult. That evening, Henry tells Mira he's heading out to buy groceries. In his hurry, he forgets his wallet. Mira notices and tries calling him, but when he doesn't pick up, she drives out to return it. On the way, she realizes Henry's car isn't headed toward the supermarket at all. It's moving in the direction of St. Mary's Hospital. Distracted by the discovery, she nearly gets into an accident. When Mira gets back home, Henry is already there. She explains that she was in a minor crash and that her car is now in the shop. Still puzzled, she asks why his car was seen driving toward the hospital instead of the supermarket. Henry insists he simply took a wrong turn and passed by the hospital while trying to find his way back. The following day, Mira returns to work, but the trauma from the home invasion still clings to her. She keeps startling at shadows and imagining movement where there is none. As she's preparing to leave the office, a detective stops by and reassures her that she can finally relax. Dylan, the only intruder who survived, passed away at the hospital. Instead of feeling relieved, Mira becomes uneasy. Dylan's death occurred the very night she saw Henry driving near the hospital, and the timing feels too coincidental. Borrowing Henry's car that afternoon, she checks the GPS history and discovers an address he recently visited. It leads her to Eagle Point, the rundown neighborhood where the attackers were from. Curious and concerned, Mira follows the trail to a dilapidated house that appears to have been one of the intruders' hangouts. Inside, she finds a letter addressed to Dylan Cobb and a car key. The place is filthy and abandoned. As she continues searching, she spots an envelope tied to a construction project, one she recognizes from her and Henry's home building process. She pockets it and steps outside. Not far from the house, she notices a small community mailbox area Using the key she found earlier, she opens the box belonging to the Cobb family. Inside is a package containing a handycam addressed to the police department. Before she can examine it, a stranger approaches her, insisting he's seen her car around before, even though Mira has never been to Eagle Point. Alarmed, she heads for her car, but the man grabs the camera, accusing her of spying on him. He smashes it on the ground and menacingly warns her never to come back. Shaken, Mira hurries home and attempts to salvage the footage from the damaged handycam. The files are corrupted and barely readable. Determined to figure out what the camera was meant to reveal, she orders the same model online as a replacement. Later, she sneaks into Henry's office and compares the construction envelope she found at Dylan's house with their own house-building documents. It's identical. The envelope originated from their project. Her suspicions deepen. Searching further, she uncovers a flash drive hidden among Henry's paperwork. On it are photos taken during the construction of their home. As she scrolls through them, she freezes. Dylan, the intruder who broke into their house, appears in the pictures as one of the workers on the build crew. Just then, Henry unexpectedly returns home with her repaired car. Seeing the office light on, he heads that way. Mira quickly leaves the room before he enters. Henry later finds her phone sitting on the desk with the GPS tracking app open. He tells her he noticed she visited Eagle Point earlier that day because he also tracks her phone's location. Mira calmly claims she just went for a drive to clear her mind. Henry seems to accept the explanation. That night, after dinner, they go to bed. Once Henry is asleep, Mira quietly retrieves the flash drive and resumes going through the images. The familiar metallic banging from the pipes echoes through the house again, but she ignores it and continues scrolling. Her breath catches when she discovers a photo of Dylan with his missing daughter, Christine. The next morning, Mira drives to the police station, intending to hand over the flash drive to the detective. As she parks, she notices the same man who had destroyed the handycam being led away in handcuffs. Shocked, she decides not to give up the flash drive and drives off, curiosity gnawing at her. Later, unable to contain her questions, Mira confronts Henry and admits that she knows about Dylan. Henry explains that during the construction of their home, he faced serious financial difficulties. To avoid IRS scrutiny, he claimed he built the house himself, but in reality, he had hired several workers, including Dylan, to complete it. Henry reveals that he fired Dylan after witnessing him physically abuse his daughter, Christine, the same day the photo was taken. Later, Dylan discovered Henry's construction fraud and began blackmailing him. When Henry could no longer pay, Dylan turned hostile. Henry believes Dylan used his daughter's disappearance as an excuse to break into their house, seeking revenge rather than justice. Hearing this, Mira finally begins to understand what led to the chaos in their lives and starts to trust Henry again. Their relationship begins to feel normal once more. A few days later, Mira receives the new handycam she had ordered. That evening, she and Henry host a small housewarming party with close friends. The gathering is cheerful, but while cleaning up afterward, Mira notices a news report on TV. It claims that the man who threatened her had no connection to Dylan or his missing daughter. Sensing something is off, Mira quietly transfers the data from the broken camcorder onto the new one. Reviewing the footage, she uncovers a shocking revelation. Dylan's true motive for breaking into their home was to search for his missing daughter, not to get revenge as Henry had claimed. Dylan explains that when Christine once visited Henry's construction site, he noticed Henry's behavior and became suspicious. After Christine disappeared, Dylan was convinced Henry was involved. Dylan had actually broken into their house twice. The first time was the night Henry and Mira went out for dinner. Dylan even brought his dog, which barked frantically in Henry's office, alerting him to the possibility that something important was hidden there. Realizing the truth, Mira rushes to Henry's office to examine the house plans. She discovers a hidden room concealed behind one of the walls. Carefully inspecting the area, she finds a secret button hidden behind a box. Pressing it opens a door, and she cautiously descends a staircase into a secret basement. When the lights flick on, she freezes in horror. Tied to a pipe is a young woman. It's Christine, Dylan's missing daughter. The clanging noises that had been haunting Mira all this time were actually Christine struggling to free herself. Christine wakes and screams in panic. Mira quickly shushes her, warning her to stay quiet so Henry won't hear. But when Mira turns, she is horrified to see Henry standing right behind her. His true nature is finally exposed. As Mira reaches for her phone to call for help, Henry strikes her and ties her up beside Christine, treating them both the same way. He explains his twisted reasoning. Desperate for a child, he planned to have Christine bear his baby, Since Mira could not have children due to her cancer, he intended to kill Christine after the birth and raise the child with Mira, making it appear like a normal family. Calmly, Henry leaves the hidden room, instructing the guests upstairs to go home, claiming Mira was drunk and asleep. In the secret basement, Mira struggles against her restraints and finally frees herself. She quickly unties Christine, and the two women manage to slip away while Henry is temporarily absent. Realizing they have escaped, Henry remotely locks all the doors in the house using his phone. As Mira and Christine attempt to hide, Henry finds them. He throws Mira against a cabinet, knocking her out, and drags Christine back to the basement to carry out his plan. When Mira regains consciousness, she grabs a small clock and rushes to save Christine. Just as Henry is about to strike, she hits him over the head with it. Henry collapses and dies instantly. In the end, Mira and Christine flee the house safely. The movie closes with Mira packing her belongings and putting the house up for sale. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this.